following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico and Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning. I'm Paige Clarke. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world.
To recover our natural health and regains our rights and freedoms, I'm Nico and Haan.
And it is a beautiful day in Clearwater, 78 degrees. We've been having a little bit of rain and enjoying having a little cooling off in our hot summer. I want to remind you to subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. We have news you can use with clickable links. It's good stuff.
Yes, it is. And, of course, you can reach us at 877-927-6648. And, of course, after hours at nico@tfnn.com by email.
And Paige at tfnn.com. And we're here to take your questions and get your feedback. You know, Nico, today when I was putting together the show topics, and you and I were sending things back and forth, I love to come back to what many natural health practitioners have felt is that the root cause of disease, and it oftentimes begins in the mouth. Not just what we're putting in it, but the health and hygiene of our mouth.
Well, of course, we have listened for years to Weston A. Price talking about this, and I think this is a great subject because I think it points us in the right direction of what went wrong and when it went wrong.
And he noticed this very early on.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it's very interesting how there's almost two fractions in the dental world. There's those that are aware and there are those that aren't. And when I was involved in the fluoride controversy in the water here, I noticed that many of the doctors, I don't know if they were just trying to egg me on, a little, when I was, that were there to say why we should add fluoride to the water, I would say, well, did you ever, as you know, with Weston A. Price, and they'd look at me and go, who's that?
Yeah, they really don't know a lot.
Well, I don't know if they know it or if they've just been encouraged not to know it, because quite frankly, he exposed a lot of the damaging things. That dental health is not about brushing your teeth and going in for your cleanings. It's about
the whole health of the body.
And it's about your nutrition, what you're putting in the body to produce healthy
I think the dentists, of course, they only know what they've been taught, or if they venture off and try to find out themselves.
Like so many doctors today. The education really begins after the official schooling.
But I like this subject a lot, and it really makes me feel good when I know why our health has declined. And it's not just in the last 50 years. Lots of problems in the last 50 years, but if we go back farther, we can really get to the root of the problem.
And I thought this would be great to outline, because you'd be amazed at how early this Dr. Weston A. Price spent. Fortunately, he was affluent and can afford to travel the world, but he and his wife spent over 40 years going everywhere. But let's take a look at this article. I think it's a great introduction to the subject, and it was written by a dentist, Dr. Steve Lin, and he wrote this article. It's called The Orthodontia Epidemic, How Food Causes Crooked Teeth. And hopefully we'll get a couple of our favorite biological dentists in the studio. We've been talking back and forth.
Yes.
We just need to get a date and get their perspective on a lot of this data.
I'm looking forward to hearing from them for sure. So this Dr. Lin says he was fixing problems, and day after day he would see patients with rotten and crooked and infected teeth. And he says it was kind of like plugging holes in a boat. And that's a good analogy for down here in Florida. Lots of people have boats.
Yeah, and he was noticing it wasn't just in his patients, but in society in general. Dental health was getting worse, and he became very frustrated in his practice. And amongst the tooth decay, bleeding gums and crooked teeth were there, and he saw people that just had sick mouths and sick bodies, and they weren't really connecting the dots, and they just accepted dental disease as a course of regular life, which we know that's not the case.
Yeah. So he was kind of searching for answers, and one day he just stumbled, and stumbled is the word, because like you said, the dentists really aren't taught about Weston A. Price.
He said his training did not provide him any answers.
Yeah, so here is one of the most prominent dentists in the world of history of tooth health and whole body health. Weston A. Price and our dentist didn't know anything about it, but he stumbled across it, and all of a sudden his eyes were open.
You know, Weston A. Price's seminal work, Nutrition and Physical Degeneration, is a 1,000-page book that kind of catalogs his research and all the different parts of the world that he went in search of why are we seeing dental health deterioration in the United States, and why do these people that don't even have the modern conveniences we do, why do they have amazing dentition, amazing hygiene, gorgeous wide glide smiles?
And this was in the early 1900s.
It sure was.
It was a time when people were really looking for health, and his thought initially was, well, I know that the vegetarian diet is really the diet probably of health, and this is what I want to find out. What are the people around the world eating that makes them healthy? So he was seeking this out. Very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And at first he thought he couldn't understand Dr. Weston A. Price's conclusions that crooked teeth and getting braces were due to diet. How could this even possibly be true? Again, still that thinking of that islandistic, maybe I made that word up, that teeth are just these things that are plugged into the body, but in fact they're vibrant living organs. So he was compelled by Weston A. Price's ideas, but again, the school training, whenever you have something that opposes the way you were trained, you tend to be a skeptic. And that conflict had started Dr. Lin on his own journey to understand these puzzles. And, Weston A. Price was describing the patients he saw as sick. And he also was seeing many children with long, skinny faces, open mouths, and tired eyes.
Open mouths and probably breathing through the mouth.
Coming back to why are they breathing out of their mouth? Because their jaws have misformed. So we've been talking on the show the last couple segments on taping your mouth shut at night. I brought that up to some people and some clients, and they looked at me like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? But this is all making sense. What they saw, these symptoms were the long, skinny faces, open mouth, tired-looking eyes. The palates were narrow. They were very high and deep, and their teeth were cramped and crooked. These kids would grow up into adults that would ultimately experience other chronic diseases. And his message was clear. The mouth-body connection was far more important than previously thought, and the oral diet could be a core contributor to lifetime health and to preventing braces in the future. This is a whole industry.
By the way, we were talking about the sleeping tape. I just wanted to interject here. I got a nice little message from Alan. He said, good morning, Nico and Paige. A great show today. I am on my 5th night of using the tape and had incredible results. I have found I am not waking up usually 2 or 3 times like I used to. Feel much more rested in the AM, more energy, and just overall a better attitude. Thanks for the info, and thanks for you and Paige.
That's right. Remember, you can pick up sleep tape at Amazon.com and just stock up and make it a habit, ease into it. So anyways, Weston A. Price's hypothesis for straight teeth and well-developed jaws would ultimately help develop a straight nose, a well-developed jawline, that strong jawline, and give you a good airway for breathing. So it all makes sense.
Yes, it does.
We'll continue this when we come back from our short break. In the meantime,
pick up some Primal Edge, would you?
That's right.
It's the best thing you can do. It's 310 organic, cell-ready liquid ingredients, all powered by humic and fulvic acid.
Nature's miracle molecules.
We'll be right
say
back.
That.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Trading is different than investing, but the opportunity to take advantage of short-term trends is only one if you get the direction right. Direction leveraged and inverse ETFs offer bold trades on U.S. and international stocks and bonds. Direction leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to the show. I just want to show you this. So there's a couple of illustrations here on the Telestrator. First one being the way our faces were normally made.
Ideally would have formed if we were getting the proper nutrition.
Nice wider face, straight teeth, wide cheekbones, alert eyes, straight nose, well-developed jaw, and a good airway size.
And really at the heart of that, over to the left of the diagram, is kind of what helps ensure that that develops in your children and grandchildren, and that's good sources of vitamin A and vitamin D and the very important substance called Activator X.
So here we have the other picture of modern man, narrow face.
Crooked teeth, poorly defined cheekbones, kind of sunk in. The eyes look tired. Crooked noses, oftentimes looking accentuatedly large, primarily because of the sunk-in facial features. Yeah. They have a smaller airway and the set-back jaw. Many times the chin is not well defined, and
they have straight teeth because they probably were straightened. Some teeth were probably taken out.
They later become straightened. Yeah. It means that they get their teeth straightened. Yeah. Right. So as you can see, we are not nearly as attractive as we could or should have been, and this is not due to anything other than poor nutrition. So what was this Activator X and his Weston A. Price's fat-soluble vitamin theory of crooked teeth and attractiveness? Actually, this dentist, Dr. Lennis, says there was an obvious absence of the question why. When he went back to his dental literature, he said, how come no one's asking the question of why the teeth aren't coming in ideally? Right. There was no answer. There was just like a drug.
Well, dentistry,
plug like a drug, let's throw in some braces.
Dentistry is there to fix the problems, not to identify them as much.
Well, there would be no money if we didn't have tooth decay.
Well, again, it's the education of the dentist that is in play here. So our whole system is like that, though. We're always plugging holes.
Yeah, he mentions, Dr. Lynn says there is very little training on how to prevent braces. In his practice, he would diagnose, classify, and plan treatments for crooked teeth. The same for impacted wisdom teeth as well, but he never would say why it occurred in the first place or how it might affect the rest of the body. And the truth is, he just didn't know. The education system didn't tell him that. Mm-hmm. So one of the big dental care problems since Weston A. Price's era is that we haven't learned why these crowded teeth happened.
Right.
Although Weston A. Price actually did. Mm-hmm. But what I believe his work was shoved aside by the dental industry because the dental industry saw that there was a lot more money
Well, not
and
only the
crooked
dental
indicate
industry,
teeth.
also the food industry and general health practitioning.
There was a lot of forces that stemmed to benefit if the cause was buried.
Right.
So there's a whole new world in functional dental growth. And as I mentioned, I've got some friends who are biological dentists that I think are really kind of on the cutting edge of that. And I hope to get them in the studio.
Yeah. Dental growth is a function of breathing, airway, and postural influences on the teeth. Jaw growth is directed by feedback from the tongue, nasal airways, and facial muscles.
Yeah, I like this, what he says. You know, they understand the dental arch growth has exploded and that crooked teeth and impacted wisdom teeth are the endpoints of poor skeletal growth. And that's why he saw what helps skeletal growth. It's these fat-soluble nutrients that we're not getting any longer in our foods.
And the correlation to me is kind of like the last 50 years we were told to eat that low-fat diet. We were told to eat a lot of bread and pastas and things like that, and they're all good for us. And 50 years later, we see our population being much, much heavier. So just that influence of that thing, and what happened thousands of years ago and what happened maybe 300 or 400 years ago with the Industrial Revolution is really what caused our jaws and our face to be like this, and our rest of our body really is following suit in different ways too.
That's exactly right. You know, so really why every moment matters in kids' dental growth, why we've got to get this nipped in the bud, why we've got to get with functional dentists early, so that not only can we produce more attractive children through better nutrition, we produce healthier children, better looking children, healthier children.
And here it says right here, the first thing that happens is breastfeeding is a major influence on how our jaw grows.
Exactly. It trains a child in nasal breathing, and their tongue extracts the milk by pushing the nipple to the roof of their mouth. These forces expand the palate, so it has been shown to decrease the risk of crooked teeth, and it's the start of a lifetime of factors that influence your jaw size.
So, you know, a lot of times I don't think we realize that's a simple thing like breastfeeding, a simple thing like not having a cesarean, to get all these good things that happen to us.
At birth.
Yeah, and breastfeeding is another thing. And the other thing that's missing really, and probably we wouldn't even do it today because it seems foreign, is chewing the food for the children after breastfeeding. In other words, now the nipple is being pushed away, the child is ready to eat some solid food, but they can't because they can't chew good. So the mother would naturally chew.
Oh, the whole food industry's push to introduce foods to children. Really, the ideal food for children in the first year is completely breast milk.
Yeah.
I mean, it really shouldn't be. I mean, I see these little cute pictures on Facebook, these little mommies saying, we're introducing cereal today to the little 4-month-old babies. They don't even have the enzyme to digest cereal. So you know, really, ideally, the first dental exam should occur right after birth. Isn't that interesting? Because this could reveal oral restrictions such as tongue or lip ties, and we see a lot more of that. Children are being born with their tongue or lip ties then they go in and get things snipped. And
so then you can't push your tongue up.
They can't push their tongue up against the palate.
Right.
And dental surgeons and ENTs can now diagnose and release tongue ties to assist the breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is huge.
So your child continues to develop these oral muscles, lip closure, tongue posture, sitting against the palate, and breathing. These are all influencing their growth. So if they're not doing that, and like me, I started taping my mouth, realizing that I'm doing a lot more mouth breathing than I thought I was.
I think that we might all find, if someone woke up and snapped a picture of us, we might all be sitting there with our mouths hanging open. So I think that's really a great thing to pick up on the taping. So the standard orthodontic approach was to delay action until the adult dentition formed. But this is not the case. There's a whole new movement in orthodontia that's actually getting involved in young children. And sadly, I was a victim of this type of orthodontia that, you know, as the permanent teeth erupted, of course I had the crooked teeth. And I became a victim of a procedure called 4 bicuspid removal. So they remove 4 teeth to help the crowded teeth and the braces. It's basically a way of saying, we just want to hurry up and get the teeth straight, so we're going to remove a couple teeth, make it easier for us. Actually, guys, every one of our teeth are like a circuit breaker in your main panel in your garage, for every tooth is wired to an organ gland. Yeah. So this is just actually horrible.
So they're narrowing the whole thing for you.
Well, they're narrowing, they're even making it worse. You might have straight teeth, but you've lost the structure of your face. Yeah. And, you can actually look good as a kid, but, I see signs of aging, like in my neck and stuff, as a result of the fact that I don't have as many teeth in my mouth.
And our small jaws preventing us from breathing properly, giving sleep disorders of all kinds without the frame to support the airways. When the muscles relax at night, we are starving our brains of oxygen. Hence, we try to get more oxygen by opening our mouth and trying to get more air.
That is true. We've got to go back to nose breathing. So all of this is important for our health of ourselves and our children. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after this short break.
And the number here is 877-927-6648. You can also see us on the Healthy Fit Club, folks. So go to Healthy Fit Club and check us out.
You'll see replays of our show. We'll be right back.
And lots of good information there, too.
We'd like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're continuing our discussion on nutrition and the health of our structures, of our jaws and our bones and our teeth. And what is that? The end stage is obstructive sleep apnea that is linked to high blood pressure, heart failure, and brain disease by upper airway resistance. is less recognized and diagnosed as breathing disorder. It's also a driver of digestive disorders, anxiety, poor circulation, and a host of other symptoms. Folks.
Yeah, not only that, the airways aren't just stuck in your small jaws. They also have the swollen soft tissues. In many people, especially children,
Think snoring.
Yeah, exactly. The airways are inflamed, clogged with mucus a lot of times. And I had that when I woke up in the morning. That first hour, I'm spitting up and coughing and stuff like that. Now, when I'm taping, it's a whole different thing when I wake up. So it's a beautiful thing for sure.
Yeah, so really allergic rhinitis, asthma, swollen adenoids, and tonsils are the barriers to nasal breathing. And, again, what's going on? Was it the formation of the face? We didn't get enough, bone structure in the right places.
Yeah, so the critical role here is how diet plays in this. And it's how the bacteria is tied to your immune system response.
The communication network.
Yeah.
By the way, like I mentioned to you, I can't wait to share with everyone. It'll be up on Healthy Fit Club, the interview we did with Zach Bush on the gut health and collaboration and communication. It's such an excellent interview, and seeing that just made me realize how important the bacteria is in this communication network to have a proper immune system. And, we've been talking about the fact that this foreign yet symbiotic organ that lives in the body, it is the bacterial and mitochondrial network. We are more them than us.
Right.
We're actually only 1% of ourselves. That's really mind-blowing.
We're kind of the leader.
The human cell is only 1% of who I am. The rest is all these other cells.
We're kind of like the group leader, and all the group is here in our body.
Yeah.
And we're the ones that are saying,
but we're the
do
little
this,
tiny
do that.
one. Yeah.
We're so we get all this crooked teeth in our bodies because of the way our jaws are being formed, and this is the problem with our health right there. This is where it starts. Expansive airways focuses children to make your jaw grow wider. So when it's wider, this straightens out the teeth.
New practice called orthotropics.
Oh, really?
Dr. Mew. Orthotropics. Dr. Mew in England is one of the leaders in that. They start seeing children very young, and they do slight things like teaching the children to shut your mouth. Not let your mouth hang open. That open mouth thing that Western, don't sit there while they're watching their video games with their mouth hanging open.
Right.
It's shut your mouth and put your tongue on the roof of your mouth. This shuts off the breathing through the mouth and forces it through the nose and expands the palate.
So the dentist really becomes more of a teacher with the young children.
Which is what doctor actually meant anyways.
Right.
Doctor and dentist. I mean, there you go. So, this working on the expansiveness of the airway and the jaw growth early on can really have a huge impact on both the facial attractiveness and the functionality of the airway. And this right from birth is when we want to start it, folks. So if you've got kids or grandkids, start looking for these proactive dentists that aren't just waiting to fill your kids with mercury. I like to think that we were moving a lot, and I remember just the dentist telling my mother that we need to fill her molars because she has deep crevices.
Yeah, well, that's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't she's got decay. Well, she's got deep crevices, so we want to prevent the decay. So let's drill out her healthy tooth structure and fill it with mercury.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
So they have a nice analogy here, searching for the yolk of crooked teeth. So they're showing the egg here and the diagnosis on what's the root cause, and how's the function. So let's go into that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. And really, I also wanted to share, here it is too. Dr. David Singh is a leader in this whole DNA appliance. I mean, see, this is the thing. I've been consulting with these dentists here that I want to have in because I was actually thinking about trying to expand my palate, which would result in those 4 bicuspid, the spot where I had the 4 teeth removed. You'd end up having a gap.
Right.
Then you'd have to do implants. Now, I think if I was like in my 30s, I would do this.
Yeah, maybe so.
But I don't know that I'm going to do it now.
Now that you're in your 40s, it's not going to go.
Yeah, that's right. But, how breathing, sleeping better, sleep apnea, and oxygen deprivation can link to getting braces. I mean, again, guys, many times braces are like a Band-Aid on the process. Yeah, you get these straight teeth, but you never really fix the problem. And let's go into why and kids are getting braces. The fluid model of the jaw and the facial growth digs deeper into how crooked teeth evolve. And it doesn't answer why or how to prevent them. And this is where Weston A. Price was truly a leader. He was so ahead of his time, and he found the why. And now we need to connect his theory to what science has since revealed.
So this timeline is really important because for approximately 2 million years as Homo sapien, Homo erectus, and now we think Homo sapiens, probably 300,000 years. So 9,000 years ago,
well, there was no significant dental or jaw disease when you go back and look at these skeletal remains.
All the way through our lineage until about 9,000 years ago, some people think 10,000 years ago, agricultural revolution. People started using grains as a staple. Before that, the animals were much more of a staple.
And that marked the rise of modern tooth decay.
Yeah.
But 200 to 300 years ago, we had another revolution, 9,000 agricultural revolution, 200, 300 years ago, the Industrial Revolution.
And why would the Industrial Revolution cause this? Well, first of all, we already have changed the food from years ago, but now when the Industrial Revolution comes along, there's a couple of things that happen that's very interesting. The first one is the food changes more because now we're milling these things with machinery. That changes things. We're not doing it by hand anymore. So now we can do it a lot faster. And here is where the people as a whole started working like slaves, much more so.
Right, so the two things that happened, we had decay 9,000 years ago, and then what we started seeing was malocclusion, or crooked teeth, improper bite, and wisdom teeth impaction.
But the Industrial Revolution allowed the people who owned things to have many more slaves and put them under a yoke. This is the stress of our modern type of living. This is where it starts, 200 to 300 years ago, when the Industrial Revolution started.
The neonatal jaws failed to develop in the womb. Yeah. And the Mews, the doctors Mew in England, say that you should also chew gum, because our ancestors, they had to chew. They chewed on roots. They chewed on bark. They were walking. They were hunting for the next food. They had strong jaws. You know, they were using those muscles. We don't use them because we eat the advent of soft food, i.e. greens, rice, puddings, right? All those things. So, you know, it actually says that pregnant women have a higher risk of sleep apnea, and a mother with crooked teeth may deliver less oxygen to her child. And we know that when there's less oxygen, this impacts the fetal growth.
Yeah, this is similar to smoking during pregnancy, which curbs the growth of the fetus. We know these things. Mothers with small jaws may have children with small jaws, but why didn't they grow there in the first place?
Because nutrition is the driving force for jaw health. So when we come back, we're going to talk about how malocclusion, or improper bites, and unhealthy teeth were linked to major changes in our food supply and a lack of oral health diet.
Yeah.
So this is important stuff, folks. Hope you stay tuned and learn more so you can be more. Be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show. You know, throughout human history, a typical diet delivers food rich in fat-soluble vitamins D, A, and K2. But they're missing from today's world of food. And interesting thing, Dr. Lin began testing his patients for these deficiencies. And he said all of them were deficient in these.
And for those of us who have been following and teaching Dr. Weston A. Price's findings, this is what's to diagnose, you know. This is no surprises. And as he started realizing that people were deficient in these, he realized how important it is. You know, we can now say that vitamin D deficiency is really a global pandemic, and there's all kinds of reasons for why that's happening. We've been scared to be in the sun. You know, perhaps the shade that we're under now as a result of what they're spraying for weather manipulation. This is all impacting perhaps some other things that might be impacting our ability to absorb vitamin D as a result of things that
stress, number one
things
thing,
that were in our vaccines.
Yep.
So there's some very disturbing reasons for why these activators are not in our bodies. But
you know, adequate vitamin D. First of all, bone growth, really important with vitamin D. Also, direct cellular growth. It binds the thousands of genes in our body, and the deficiency directs the epigenome.
Yeah, so we've talked about that it's really the epigenetic influence that affects your gene expression.
Exactly.
Remember, the gene is the gun.
Right. And what's pulling the trigger?
The pulling the trigger is the epigenetic influence. That's how you eat, sleep, breathe, move, think.
Exactly.
So for a long time, Weston A. Price's fat-soluble vitamin theory lacked a physiology model to support it. However, with the help of many arms of science, we now understand crooked teeth as a food-driven outcome. And it happens in utero, folks. It's about getting these young parents to eat these real foods, to realize that these are important. I mean, when my daughter was pregnant, cod liver oil. You know, I wish I had known that. I didn't know all this when I had my children. And, you know, I think this is really, really important. So to better understand crooked teeth, we want to look at how humans develop at birth.
Yeah, as the fetus grows, it develops different systems such as the spinal cord, the skeletal system, organs in established order, and
they have certain progress checkpoints.
Yes. So there's certain things that happen at certain times, and if the vitamins aren't there, then of course you lag in those things.
Yeah, if one part of the body hasn't finished being formed, it can't afford to wait. The show must go on. There's a timing. And for instance, spinal bifida is due to failure to close the neural tube. Okay, so the checkpoint came. There was not the symphony of events didn't happen as orchestrated, and unfortunately, it produced an inferior formation.
Yeah, I look at it kind of like the amino acid thing, is that your body's trying to build something that needs repair, and all of a sudden the aminos aren't there completely.
He explained that to us.
Yeah, and it throws it out.
Yeah,
and so while
work doesn't happen.
Work doesn't happen. So while we're growing as a fetus, those things happen too.
Well, this is important, folks. This checkpoint that we just referred to, guess when it happens?
When?
The 23rd to 27th day of pregnancy. How many women even know if they're pregnant yet?
Wow.
They usually don't.
Yeah.
They don't usually do their pregnancy test till 6 to 8, around 6 weeks when they've missed a period. So without adequate folate, I did not say folic acid, folks. Guess what they're putting in the prenatal vitamins for these young mamas? They're putting folic acid. And if you don't have the methylation to break that down, that creates a whole other source. It takes up the receptor sites so that you can't get real folate, and the folate is what...
Another reason to get that primal edge.
Yeah, that's right. We didn't put the cheap stuff in. It's not cheap because we don't use cheap stuff, and cheap stuff's not what we want. Sure. So, without your adequate folate, you can't build an effective nervous system, and the body completes its work correctly and moves on to other systems. So, and this is very dear to my heart. I have 3 children. My youngest was born with a complete unilateral cleft lip and palate. We now know that's a deficiency of folate, B12, that whole methylation. Thank God it's not spinal bifida, but it's a central line defect where things didn't come together quite right. So this is part of my passion for spreading the word about getting the right nutrition so we can have healthy kids. So without this enough folate, the job is left incomplete, and the child can be exposed to birth defects, and even worse, something as serious as spinal bifida.
Yeah, now Weston May's Price's theory centered around a trilogy of fat-soluble vitamins. K2 wasn't identified as an activator X until 2007 by...
Chris Masterjohn. Chris Masterjohn is a great guy. He's real involved in the Weston A. Price. He was at the meeting last year and did some great talks. He's done a lot of research of really tying the loose end together. So he's fleshed out much of the 3-way synergy in the body from the activator X, which we now know is what? K2, vitamin K2.
The other vitamin, vitamin D deficiency, and its impact on the skeletal system is firmly established. We know this. Osteoporosis and rickets in children.
Mm-hmm.
When the bone, this is when the bone doesn't materialize properly.
Mineralize.
Yes.
Properly, yeah. So, getting back to the vitamin K2 as we go on, because people say to me, where do we get vitamin K2? We get vitamin K2, as Weston A. Price found, from the byproducts of animals, large animals, that eat rapidly growing grass, such as cows, such as grass-fed butter, such as grass-fed cream and raw milk, and then the products produced by these animals. We get it. He found that the indigenous people of Australia prized a special food from the emu, that was the oil on the emu's back. So emu oil is one of the highest degreed products with the vitamin K2 or the activator X.
Same as the buffalo for the American Indians. They have that hump is all pink, fat, really rich.
I'm sure it's probably a great source of vitamin K2.
Yes.
So these are not things that you're going to get in your average everyday food. Vitamin D, what's the best source of vitamin D? The sun. Yeah. That's the best activator, and
we're shutting that out as much as possible, and it's shutting itself down now. Today, many children's bodies lack...
I want to finish that cod liver oil. So I'm going to recommend, and I have brands, and I get these for my clients. If you need help and you want to source the very best of all of these fat-soluble activators, just contact me, and I'll help you out. And, the vitamin A we're getting into now, right? Mm-hmm. I want to say something. On the vitamin D, 90% of the population now have impacted wisdom teeth. Is that amazing? Wow. So jaw growth, like any other bone growth, is 3-dimensional. So in order to erupt teeth in their proper location, the teeth rely on the overall space in the jaw. But if we're not creating a wide glide jaw for lots of room for these teeth, this is what's going on, and this is a result. So we're seeing all of this happening, and this buildup of thickness is resulting in the wisdom teeth coming in the wrong angle. So, it's just very sad, folks, and these are things that our ancestors knew were critical. And so let's go into the vitamin A. They must remain functional. I mean, vitamin A is critical for bone growth, but you know what a lot of people say, particularly people of a vegetarian perspective? Oh, I get lots of vitamin A in my beta-carotene. Beta-carotene is a pro-vitamin A. Yeah. It's pre. It's not retinol. And, what's a great source of vitamin A? Liver, from grass-fed animals.
So when the animal eats it, that completes the whole chain and everything.
Butter.
Yeah, butter. Yeah.
Okay, cod liver oil.
Yeah.
And vitamin A is crucial for not just gene regulation, vision, reproduction, cell division. It works as these guys are synergistic. Vitamin A, D, E, K2. Ooh, those are important stuff.
So we'll continue with this in our last segment, so stick around. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Up next, 9 before 9 with John Logan on TFNN.
So we're really diving into the fat-soluble activator vitamins that Weston A. Price worked so hard to share with us. So like vitamin D and A, vitamin K2 is actually passed on to a child by their mother. So it's important that our mamas have a good storage house of these fat-soluble vitamins so that they can produce healthy children.
Definitely.
And these nutrients activate the protein osteocalcin that carries minerals into bones. So I mentioned a couple of great sources for these, but guess where you can get, what food you can get healthy doses of both vitamins A, vitamin D, and of course vitamin K2. What do you think is?
The wonderful egg.
The incredible edible egg. The egg yolk.
The yolk especially, the one we've been trying to get rid
that's
of, right?
That's where it all is. It's yeah. So, you'd almost think there was some kind of sinister nature to their madness telling us to stay away from the egg yolk.
It's backwards, folks.
I mean, could it be that they're just that ignorant, or was there more of a reason that if we don't get what we need, we might be good for business. I hate to think that there's that much sinisterness, but
the important thing to me is that we know it and we're passing it on. You know, food is the primary cause of crooked teeth and why so many kids today are getting braces. An oral health diet should be our primary concern when creating dietary guidelines.
Absolutely. Let's get healthy in the mouth, and there goes the rest of the body. And, you know, there's many factors that are influencing the jaw and bone growth. But these nutrients combine to influence the body and its development. And a reductionist approach that studies how nutrients work in isolation really fail to account for the complexity of human growth and development, folks.
Yeah, so Weston A. Price taught us to look at the body and the mouth as a whole system. Today, with the benefit of our ancestral medicine, the human microbiome, and epigenetics, we can move forward with a complete explanation of his theory. So we're really finding out the wisdom that this doctor in the 1920s gave to us. And unfortunately, it's not being taught in medical school. It's not being
This should
taught
be
in
the heart
dentists.
of medical school.
Yeah, but you know, the good thing is that we ourselves can dive into this and find out. So if you're going to be an expected mother, if you're planning on having children, the health of your child starts with your own health. So think about that. As you're growing older, most of these symptoms that we have are already showing up in our children, but we can really make a difference to our future generations.
If we prepare for childbirth, like these ancient cultures will often take a young couple that they expect to start having children, and they'll isolate the mother and feed her dairy. I can't remember what the name of the tribe is, but they feed her a ton of dairy for the fat-soluble vitamins in preparation, caviar, in preparation for childbirth.
And it's interesting how all these rituals that we've had through generations of different people all over the world are always tied to our health. They're not the crazy cannibals that everybody, you know, we talk about. If you're living in the wild, you're doing this, you're doing that. It turns out that our ancient ancestors who lived in the wild were very, very smart. They knew this stuff, and the earth really provided it. And us changing the earth is what really is causing the problems. We're making cement everywhere. We're putting up buildings blocking the sun. We're changing the way we eat.
We are disconnected from what it takes to stay healthy, but we're here to get you reconnected.
Matt gave us a nice clue here. Eat the Yolks, a great book by Liz Wolfe.
And that's exactly what we're saying, folks. The egg has been vindicated. Eat your egg yolks. In fact, I throw out most of my white. I really could care less. I like my egg yolks, and that's where you're going to get those healthy activator fat-soluble nutrients.
And of course, the egg yolk is what tastes good.
It tastes wonderful. And, you know, so we're going to continue along this line. We've been really bringing you some cutting-edge information about taping your mouth so you can breathe properly. We've just talked about the dental health, and we're going to go in next show or so into Pottinger's cats. Are we now, as a result of our bad nutritional choices, the Pottinger's cats? Find out more about that.
Are we the experiment?
Stay tuned.
I think so.
See you next time.
Thanks a lot, folks. Thanks for sticking around. Have a nice weekend. See you next time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.